everyone. Welcome to the Holistic Birth Podcast, where we put the power in families' hands to have the safe, satisfying journey they deserve. My name is Allison.
And I'm Brigitte. We are two doulas who love bringing information along with inspiration to help you feel confident and powerful in your choices throughout the birthing year.
We cover all topics around pregnancy, birth, and beyond. We're so glad you're here.
Let's dive into this week's episode.
Welcome back to the Holistic Birth Podcast. This is episode number 3. We are talking about conscious conception today. Brigitte, tell us, what is conscious conception?
Conscious conception is basically to conceive with intention. So definitely things like bringing a soul into the world, so like calling in your baby, changing your diet, meditation practice, doing ritual, also like connecting with your partner before you decide to, do the thing. Surrendering what may happen, like journaling, keeping positive mindset, validating how you're feeling. And then you can also like hire a doula at this time to they can help you navigate things and, go over any like questions you may have about conception, that sort of thing. That's kind of basically it, but we can get into more detail about it too.
Sure. Let's talk about the ways you can be intentional with your conscious conception.
Yeah.
Cool. So I think like changing your diet was something that you mentioned. I'd love to hear, you're like the nutrition lady of the two of us. So, what does that mean to change your diet? And tell me.
Yeah. So, it kind of all depends on your history of, if you've been on birth control or if you just like haven't been eating super healthy, like whole foods, if you're, eating more processed foods. So you obviously want to eat more healthy so your body can be, ready to conceive. The other thing too is wherever else your like energy is going, that's where your body's going to focus on mostly. So if you're not eating enough, your body's going to be focusing on trying to keep you nourished rather than focusing on your reproduction. So definitely wanting to eat, more whole foods, even like an ancestral diet. I know not everybody, eats meat, but animal-based is really the best way I feel that would help with conception. But there are definitely like vegetarian and vegan diets that you can try and balance your minerals and that sort of thing. So just like being conscious of those things and being aware of like what you're putting into your body is very important. So that way your body can really focus on other things if you, if that's what you want to do. Yeah.
Great. Yeah. So what you eat matters. I think it's also what's on your brain matters, right? Like how are your thoughts?
Yes.
Oftentimes with the fertility journey, there can be a lot of like inner conflict or inner conversation. And some people think like maybe like me, I'm an overthinker. So I think too hard and too intensely about some of that stuff. And maybe on the flip side, some people, are just like, you know what? Yeah, we're just going to stop birth control, or we're going to start trying. Like there's such a intention that could be set that would help balance whether you are like really into it or you're just kind of like letting it go. But meditation comes to mind too for like mental, right? So I think that finding like a good guided meditation or even like a yoga practice or something that helps you to still your body and also just maybe find some stillness in your mind, and then also seeing what kind of comes. I think when we talked about the 6 stages or 6 steps of healing in the last episode, I think that when we were talking about what you're putting into your body and when you're giving yourself the stillness and all of that, I think that might be really helpful too, even applied to this process.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, but like meditation, so like being able to like choose something that I know some of them are overstimulating and some of them you're like, this is really boring. Like it's good to find like a good option. We'll put a few in the show notes for like some meditations to consider. But there is some good brain work and not brain work that can maybe come from meditation.
Yeah, definitely. Meditation is really huge just to try to get you more centered because our minds kind of go crazy when we're trying to have a baby. So yeah, there's a lot to think about, you know, so tons of things to think about. Yeah. So yeah, just kind of settling your mind is really important. And yeah, again, kind of back to what I said before, like about your putting energy into other places. It's not going to focus so much on your reproduction because your body is like worried about breathing and digesting food and doing like all those things first to keep you alive, whereas reproduction is kind of like on the back burner. So we definitely want to like nourish ourselves and our mind and our, you know, by and then also by the food we're taking in, that sort of thing, to make sure that our energy can go to those other places.
Right. And having the energy, so like getting good sleep.
Yeah.
And that's the struggle for us as doulas, right? Is like if we might be up for 36 hours straight or doing like overnight postpartum care, like I know that can impact things, or even just overall stress and like how are you talking to yourself? You know, that might be a huge thing to kind of reframe, because it can be tough.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So when you were talking about ritual, can you tell me a little bit more, like maybe give some examples about the ritual component with your partner? How do you kind of do that together, or what does that look like?
Yeah, that can be like as simple as like just lighting a candle together and then just saying a little prayer and calling in a baby, you know, before you have intimacy together. Or even if you're not having intimacy, you're just wanting to spend some quality time together, you can just do that too. It could be that simple, or you can, again, just do like, we talked about like oracle or tarot cards, just to kind of get a little message or something like that. Meditation plays a part into that too. So you can light the candle and then you can meditate together. You know, like there's one thing I really like is, practice that is really nice is like sitting in front of each other and you both, you know, put your hand on each other's heart, and that like really creates this like energetic connection between the two of you. So yeah, it can be super simple like that. It doesn't have to be anything crazy elaborate or anything. So, and that could just be, you know, whenever you are planning to be intimate and try to conceive, or you just want to, you know, spend some quality time together and call that in. So,
even the stress, like if someone's been trying to conceive for like a while and they're trying to incorporate conscious conception, because not everyone maybe is aware that that's something you could do like when you're starting. Yeah. So even if you're further in on the journey, it's great to still add these components in, no matter where you're at, or even if you have to go like the fertility treatment route, or if you're doing like IUI, IVF, that stuff, it doesn't always feel very much like your body's like cooperating. And so sometimes like those thoughts can get kind of intense, but building in ritual and that connection can kind of help bring you out of that, this is so planned and it's like it's transactional, or it's like very like detailed about like when something's scheduled. It can kind of, I think, loosen up some of the structure or some of that tense energy from like that kind of approach to fertility too.
Yeah, 100%. Like I really think that kind of helps, you know, take that like stress of like, oh, we gotta go do it now, you know, right, and just like all the doctor's appointments and all that kind of stuff. Like this can really just create that connection between the two of you again, and like what's, you know, what originally the reason why you wanted to start creating a family. So yeah, I think it's super important during that time too. I think it's very helpful.
Yeah. And even like working with a doula you mentioned the doula. We can totally chat about that too.
Yeah. So, with the doula, you can, you know, get a doula that's specifically trained in fertility, or some other doulas just know, you know, general nutrition. They can help you with things, or just give you these tools, like make suggestions around these tools. But having the extra support person, just someone that you can, you know, vent to if you need to, someone will just listen to you if you're really struggling through something, or, you know, celebrate with you if you've, you know, made a milestone or gotten pregnant or any of that. They can really help with those things.
And it's nice to be able to continue on when your doula was your fertility doula, or was like cheering you on or supporting you. Like it's so nice to have that established relationship where you're like, all right, I already found this trusting person that could then be my birth doula, or even then postpartum doula.
Right.
But yeah, definitely.
Yeah, definitely. Those things are super helpful for sure.
Great.
Yeah. Do we have some resources we want to like go over real quick? Okay.
Yeah, I think like something like journaling, like that can be really great. A lot of times the intentions that we're trying to set, it's one thing to kind of try to keep them in like a mantra in your head like all the time, but
Mm-hmm.
sometimes taking some dedicated time to sit with a pen and paper, like that can be really nice.
Yeah, for sure.
There's a book by Nikki Shahid. It's The Heart-Centered Pregnancy Journal. And that one's a favorite of mine and my clients, where it's kind of not necessarily week by week, but there's a lot of ideas and questions in the book. Some of them are like pregnancy related, but some of the inspiration for ritual and self-acceptance and kind of all the things of choice and how you're feeling about all of it. I think they ask good questions.
Yeah, definitely. That's a great journal.
Yeah,
for sure.
The Alternative Sacred Pregnancy is like a good one. That one's by Annie, or Ani if she's fancy. Dalter. I'm assuming it's Annie Dalter. But I know I recently lent this to you, and so it's fresh in your mind. What did you think of it?
I love that book so much. Like you let me lend it, and I was like, I'm buying this book. It's really good.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just like goes through like, each, part of labor like by week, which is really great. And it gives you ways of celebrating those weeks and what your body's doing, and if you're a baby girl versus baby boy. It's awesome. It's like really connects you with the baby especially, and just yourself. And that's my go-to for conscious conception stuff. So
because a lot of the things that you're trying to set up during this conscious conception time can still be continued throughout pregnancy, and like
absolutely.
It's once you've kind of established like your intentions and that consciousness of you're being very like mindful and like connected to these choices and to this process. I think it's great to continue to have those resources that can further you with that thought process, like in the future, whenever you might stumble upon your pregnancy journey.
Yeah, absolutely. So that was the other thing I wanted to talk about with this. Oh yeah, you're like tracking your cycle. We can get into that a little bit. So another really good book is The Fifth Vital Sign.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a really good book. That really helps you become more aware of what your body is actually doing. I think it's so important for us as women to like know what our bodies are doing. And I don't know about you, but I was not taught this in school at all. So learning it as an adult is definitely interesting. Like I'm learning things about myself that I had no idea, just by, basing your entire basis of your health on your cycle is really important. So that's, I think, connecting with your body in that way is really important with conscious conception, and just getting familiar with like when you're fertile and when you're not fertile, and what exactly like your cycle might be telling you about like your current state of health. Super important stuff.
Yes, I feel like I feel similar to you. I did not get a great education around the cycle and the different things to look for within my body, like the changes in like basal body temperature, the cervical mucus. Like there is a lot to notice about the body, and when to know when you're actually fertile. It's not actually the whole month, like it's I feel like it's something that really helps people to get more in tune with their body and with what they can be aware that is maybe a little bit more in their control, or in just like within their power, I guess, of like understanding.
Yeah, it's super empowering to be able to like know like exactly what your body's doing, and like you just have this deeper connection with yourself that you didn't before. So yeah. And
another book for that would be Taking Charge of Your Fertility.
Yeah,
that's like a really that's a popular one. It's a little thicker, but it's I think it does the job.
Definitely. Yeah. That's definitely a good one for sure.
And another one is I'm like I've got more coming to mind, but it starts with the egg. That's also a really
good one. Yeah. There's definitely some good resources out there for sure. And we'll, like Allison said, we'll definitely make sure we put the link in the show notes for all that stuff. So
definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So first of all, what is a spirit baby?
Yeah. So spirit baby. So that's basically the soul of the baby, that is kind of with you through, I feel like sometimes through life. Some people can feel the presence of like, they can tell if it's a boy or a girl, and they can connect with the personality. So it's basically like a spirit that is, with you throughout your life. And you can if you don't feel that presence, you can also call that presence in, and that can kind of show up. And meditation is another great way to really connect with your spirit baby. So there's also a great meditation we can probably link in the show notes for that too. But yeah, it's, I've heard a lot of women say that they can feel that like baby presence around them, and they'll have dreams about them too. That's another big thing too, is dreams. So they can actually like really feel like that presence, and then they can feel that baby and see that baby in their dreams, which is really, really neat. Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. So yeah, spirit baby is just, a matter, and this can also be for like someone that's lost a baby too. They can still feel that presence with them as well. So, and sometimes that soul can come back and through another, baby, or it can just hang out with the other babies that are coming along too. So the possibilities are endless. It's really very neat.
Wow.
Yeah.
Love
special.
that.
It's very special.
Yeah. A lot of ways you can connect.
Yeah.
With your spirit baby.
Yeah, definitely.
Nice. So I know a lot of times too with conscious conception, there are a lot of fears, and kind of this mindset is tricky. And I know we talked about like meditation and mindset a little bit before, but what do you do to unpack those fears? I think, don't you have like an Unpacking Fears journal?
Yeah. So I made an Unpacking Fears journal. So it has journal prompts in it. You can find that on my website. Again, we'll link that too. So you can just click and you can go right there. But it has journal prompts. So anything that is coming up around fears you may have, and then, trying to just kind of reframe your mind around those fears and help you work through them. So it's a simple little journal with simple little prompts just to kind of help someone through any fears that are coming up. So yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I feel like any journal or prompts, I feel like those are really great, not only to journal about, but also to talk about with your partner, or like the providers you're working with for your fertility journey, even your doula, or even like a mental health therapist, like whoever you're working with, whoever's in your team, it might be kind of like speaks into existence some of the maybe the solutions that you're needing or the supports that you're needing.
Yeah.
And just like talking to your people and like knowing who can you feel safe to talk about that stuff with. I know for me, no matter what it is in my life, I know if I need to be just comforted and held and just listened to, versus when do I need to be told like, okay, well, like here's a game plan, or we got this. Like, and I know there are different people in my life who do that. And so I feel like even having that distinction in your head of like, do I need to just be held and listened to right now? Or do I want to like problem solve, or kind of who might I need to talk to? Like that might be good too.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Also like a simple journaling exercise you can do is just writing things that you're grateful for and what your current stressors are.
Yes.
So just getting that kind of stuff out, and, even ending with gratitude is really helpful too, just to kind of reframe and get you feeling a little bit more, settled about what you may be going through. Because it can be, like we said before, it can be a lot to think about. Yeah.
And I think a lot of times too, like self-care is like that's a constant trending subject right now. I feel like it's not always like well understood or well like applied, or we don't always understand the layers of it, but it makes me think of, okay, and instead of just like bubble baths or whatever, which is good, like it's good to pamper yourself or help you feel like you have that kind of time that you're spending like just on you. But I guess like we can kind of pull something from that of like, you could go to a sound bath, or go to a cacao ceremony, or even like a blessing way or mother's blessing that's kind of with the intention of fertility. Like there could be things that you're doing, not just like the stereotypical like self-care, bubble baths and pedicures, but like it could be like very intentional, connect with yourself. That's your care for yourself in preparation for being the best home to this baby.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
I was literally within the past month, I've been at a sound bath and a cacao ceremony. So good.
Yeah, I bet.
So good.
That's and that's like getting back to nourishment, really. Like it's not just about food, it's like nourishing your soul.
Yes. Yeah. Like the sound bath, like it was you're laying there and there are like, sound bowls and chimes. And I mean, I did doze a little bit here and there, which I think I needed to do that.
I'm sure you did. Yeah.
But I could hear someone like kind of softly snoring like next to me. So I was like, okay, it's not just me.
Yeah.
But then the cacao ceremony was very much like, cacao is like a heart opener. And so it was great to not only, everyone was it was also the full moon, which, that was doing something.
Yep.
But I think there was some really great space holding and community, which was good. And everyone came to the table with different things that they had going on. But I think having those outlets or those places that you can go besides just like staying home, like getting outside or going to like a yoga retreat or anything that could help you to kind of feel like you're nourishing yourself, but nesting also within you if it's not at home.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Those things are also so important. And it's just having the awareness around your thoughts and doing the things to nourish yourself.
Wonderful.
Super, super important stuff.
Yeah. So definitely look in the show notes for all the little resources we mentioned today. Is there anything else you wanted to bring up?
No, I think that's pretty much it. But yeah, as always, you can send us an email or comment or whatever you need to do. And we're here to answer questions around that. So yeah.
We hope you enjoyed the episode. And next week, we're going to talk about relieving morning sickness.
Yeah. Big
dun,
topic.
dun.
Yeah. That's a big topic for sure. But we have some great tips. So
yes, it's not just in the morning and it's
exactly.
It's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see you next time.
Sounds great. All right.
Have a good one.
Yeah. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye. That's it for this topic. Thanks for tuning in. Check out the show notes for any resources or links that we mentioned today. Make sure to subscribe and follow us on your preferred podcast platform, and also be sure to give us a review.
It really helps us grow and reach more people who could benefit from this info. Also, check us out on YouTube and visit our blog where we have this podcast transcribed for you.
We'd love to connect over social media too, and we're just an email away if you have any questions or if you want to request a topic to be covered.
We hope this helps your mind, body, and soul in having the supported and holistic journey you are so deserving of. Embrace the power within you.